Welcome to this Pride of Dakota feature. Children's book series have been around for generations, including the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, the Babysitter's Club, and Jigsaw Jones mysteries, just to name a few. These are popular among young readers because of the relationships the kids develop with the characters. In this episode, we'll visit with North Dakota author Mary Ellen Erickson about a series of books set in the Dakotas that will educate and entertain your children. Mary Ellen Erickson started publishing books in 2004, but began generating the content for her books throughout her career as a student and teacher. Her books target a wide variety of audiences of all ages. Joining us is author Mary Ellen Erickson. Mary Ellen, welcome.
Thank you, Scott. Glad to be here.
So, when did you know you wanted to become a published author?
After I finished my PhD, I had a lot of things that I wanted to kind of let the public know about. And I was actually encouraged by my advisor and my family to write something on caregiving, which is what my PhD was on. And so that's when I started writing, kind of forming a book and decided I wanted to do that. And my children's books, of course, being a teacher, I had those in mind all the time, that someday I might write something for children.
And so you do cover really the wide gamut. I mean, you have some children's books, you have stuff for young adults and even retired women, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So you have two children's book series. One is Grandma Mary and Bon Bon, that's one series, and the other one is the Peanut Butter Club series of books. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Okay, let's start with the children's picture books. Okay. These books were written to entertain and also to teach, and I have a lot of teachers use them because they contain lesson plans, activities, vocabulary, objectives, and guidelines. And I have 3 done in that series. The first one is about a little puppy. Her name is Bon Bon, and she doesn't always make good decisions. So Grandma sends her to school, and she learns all about school and why she goes to school. The second one, Bon Bon learns about attitude because she doesn't have a good attitude when there's a big snowstorm and holds her up from doing what she wants to do. And the third one is the Christmas story, where Bon Bon learns the true meaning of Christmas, looking at Christmas from a Christian perspective.
And what is the name of that book?
Bon Bon's Special Christmas.
Excellent.
So that series is for young children, and they entertain and teach, and teachers are welcome, and parents and anyone that uses them welcome to use anything in there. They were set up to help people.
And you said they're actually used in several schools across North Dakota.
Yes, I'd say about 85% of the North Dakota schools carry my books.
So a lot of kids very familiar with your work.
Yes, there are children and teachers. Teachers use them a lot. Then the second series I have is called the Peanut Butter Club Mysteries. And these are kind of a cross between Laura Ingalls Wilder and the Bobbsey twins because they're mysteries set in rural settings in the Midwest. The first one takes place down in South Dakota on a small domestic farm. The second one takes place near Medora on a ranch in North Dakota. And the third one, which just came out, it's called Did Bigfoot Steal Christmas? It takes place in northern Minnesota at a ski lodge during Christmas.
So these books are targeted probably more for the middle school age.
Right, for ages about 7 through 13. And I've had 7-year-olds that have stepped right up to where I was selling these books and can read right out of them. And so there are 7-year-olds that can read my books, but they're very good readers. And I also have a lot of parents that like to read with their children. And these books kind of lend to that too, because I look at both the adult perspective and the child's perspective in what's being done. Yeah. And there are no actual parents in my books, but they're about grandparents and grandchildren. These 4 grandchildren have to be with their grandparents every summer because their own parents go on a mission to South America. Wow. No parents around. And of course, these are very modern kids. These aren't old-fashioned kids. They're into computers and the whole bit, and Grandma and Grandpa are very old-fashioned. So we have that conflict occasionally, and it's just been so much fun to do it because I myself have grandchildren, and thinking of how they would respond to what some of the things that were going on in these books. And they solve mysteries together.
Well, I think it's very relevant because of the generation gaps with the technology and the old school. And then plus you're setting them in a rural setting. in very familiar territory to yourself. I know you grew up along the James River in South Dakota, which is where one of your books takes place, and in the Dakotas and Medora, which we're all familiar with.
Yeah, my husband and I lived along the James River for many years, and so I'm familiar with that area. And this takes place down in South Dakota, north of Aberdeen, along the James River. The first book, it's called What Happened to the Deer. And the second one takes place out in Medora, North Dakota, on a ranch. And although I've never lived in that area, I've been out there many times. Love that country. It's beautiful country. And it's the name of it is Who Jinks, the C&G Ranch. And then the last one, of course, is in northern Minnesota during Christmas vacation, and it's called Did Bigfoot Steal Christmas?
Wonderful. So if someone wants more information or would like to purchase one of your books, let's cover all the different ways that someone could pick up these books.
Okay. Well, I have a website, drmarysbooks.com. You can go on there and order through there. My books, most of them have my address and so on in them. If you want to look me up there or phone number. I also am on Amazon.com. I'm also in Pride of Dakota, listed with their books and so on. So there are just lots of ways you can get a hold of me. I imagine if you just type my name, Mary Ellen Erickson, into the computer, you'd probably get a lot of information.
And then you have a phone number as well, too, that people can call you on?
701-751-2009 in Bismarck. I live in Bismarck now.
Wonderful. I know that my kids love book series, and when they get onto one, they have to finish all of them. And I know this is going to be one that they're going to really look forward to reading. So
I shouldn't neglect to say, too, they're sold in about, all my stores are listed on my website, but I've got about 200 stores in the Midwest that carry my books, including Barnes & Noble and some of the smaller bookstores around. And you can walk into a bookstore or a drugstore or a novelty store or a craft store and many times find my books, too.
Probably find them there. Yeah, there's a lot of information on your website, so that's at drmarysbooks.com. It's a great place to start. Mary Ellen Erickson, I want to thank you for stopping in the studio and visiting with us.
Thank you for having me.
For more information on this Pride of Dakota featured member, or to find other feature podcast episodes, visit our website at prideofdakota.com or join the conversation at facebook.com/prideofdakota.